When you say liquefaction of a gas, it means we are bringing the molecules or atoms of the gas together, and now they are close to each other, right? Like this.
Yeah.
They're not that much pack up like this, otherwise it will become solid.
Solid. Yeah.
It's like a liquid, like, right?
Yeah.
This is a gas. This is a gas. So gas is being converted into liquid. How can we do that? By increasing pressure and by decreasing temperature. Right? This is a cylinder.
Yeah.
Right here I have a gas particles. What I can do, if I decrease the temperature, their kinetic energy will decrease, right? If
Yeah.
their kinetic energy decreases, then the particles will move now slowly. And when they collide with each other, they will develop van der Waals force of attraction. Weak force of attraction with each other. Right?
Yeah. But then they have less kinetic energy to escape that
Yes.
force of attraction.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And then we are applying the pressure that will bring forcefully the molecules together. Right? Now they will be occupying the less volume. So they are bound to come closer. They are bound to come closer. Right? So we have to increase the pressure and we have to decrease the temperature both to liquefy a gas. Now my question is, will any one of the two will work? Suppose I just increase the temperature but don't decrease the temperature. Will that cause a liquefaction of the gas?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And another point, if I don't increase the pressure, just decrease the temperature, will that cause a liquefaction of a gas?
Yeah, you would.
No. If it had been
Would,
so,
right?
if it had been so, then Antarctica and Greenland or the top of the Himalayas should not have any air. All the air should be liquefied.
But no, sir. But then gases like nitrogen and oxygen have very low melting points. That's why they're not. I mean, very low boiling points. That's why they're not
But how to
liquefied yet.
liquefy them? How to liquefy them? Right?
With high
Not
pressure.
so. Not just by high pressure. We have to we have with increasing pressure. We have to decrease the temperature also to liquefy a gas. I'll prove it with one experiment here. One experiment was done by Andrew. It is not an Andrew's experiment. It is a isothermal compression of carbon dioxide. Isothermal means keeping the temperature constant. And what the experiment was, simple experiment. We are decreasing the volume of a gas in a cylinder like this. This is a cylinder and this is a piston. Here I have a gas and I have connected here a manometer to measure the pressure, or we can say we can attach here the pressure gauge. What I am doing is I am applying the pressure and decreasing the volume. What will happen to the pressure?
It'll increase.
It will increase. Good. Which law you are applying here?
Boyle's law.
Boyle's law.
Yeah.
So further, if I decrease the volume, what will happen to the pressure?
If you keep decreasing the volume, the pressure will slowly keep on increasing.
But actually, it does not happen here. It does not happen here. For the real gas, it does not happen here. It become constant
Yeah,
here.
it would liquefy, right?
It become constant here.
At some point.
And then, what is happening here? Here, it is just a gas.
Yeah.
Here the gas is converting
Condensing.
into liquid.
Okay.
The number of particles which have got liquefied, they are no more exerting pressure. It means with that the pressure should decrease. But the number of particles which are still in the gaseous state, and now we are decreasing the volume, the pressure should increase.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
So the pressure remains the same.
Yes. And now when a state comes, when everything becomes liquid, the whole matter become liquid. The liquid are least compressible, and now if I decrease the further volume, the pressure steeply increases. So from C to D, it's a liquid here. Getting me? This experiment we have done, at, let it be at 20 degrees Celsius for carbon dioxide. This is the carbon dioxide compression, isothermal. Isothermal means you're keeping the temperature constant and decreasing the volume. It's a compression. Now what I do, I perform the same experiment again at 25 degrees Celsius. The graph goes like this.
And the gradient, no,
Yes.
wait, wouldn't the gradient be higher?
Yeah, of course higher. It will become like this and it will become like this. A to B, B to C, C to D. It goes like that. But now interesting thing that happens here. At 31 degrees Celsius, 31.1 degrees Celsius, the carbon dioxide, howsoever the volume I decrease, howsoever the pressure it may increase, the gas does not liquefy. Just below the temperature, the gas can be liquefied. Just at this temperature or just above this temperature, the gas cannot be liquefied. Howsoever the pressure we may apply, howsoever the volume we may decrease. This temperature at which this situation comes is called as a critical temperature. Is called as a critical temperature. You got it now?
Yeah.
The temperature below which the gas can be liquefied. But above that temperature, the gas cannot be liquefied. Howsoever the pressure we may apply. It means just by decreasing temperature will not cause the liquefaction. Along with that, we also need to increase the pressure. Both the conditions are required. Or just by increasing pressure will not cause the liquefaction. We have to decrease the temperature also. So write down the definition of a critical temperature. Critical temperature is the temperature above which gas cannot be liquefied, howsoever the pressure we may apply. So for every gas there is a particular such critical temperature, and this is the critical volume Vc, and this is the critical pressure.
Wait, what's the critical pressure? It's the pressure above, below which it can't be
Yes,
liquefied?
yes. It's a minimum pressure below which the gas cannot be liquefied, howsoever the temperature we may decrease. So both the conditions are required for a gas to be liquefied. Hopefully it's all clear.
Yeah.
Right.